Hi folks, quick video to show you, and this is kind of a series of videos I'm doing to show you Marc Randazza's tactics. Now he controls a lot of these people. I mean, like Law 360, they say whatever he tells them to, right? I'm my own attorney, Crystal Cox. They don't ask me anything about my side. This article is full of lies. Okay, let's look at a few of them. Attorney seeks discovery from GoDaddy and others in extortion suit. So Marc Randazza, he's claiming in an extortion suit. Okay, he sued me in Nevada for copyright. He's recently told the Nevada courts that this case has nothing to do with the Nevada case. So what extortion suit is he talking about? Nevada he calls as extortion. You can see the documents on the Nevada case where he says this case is about extortion. Okay, but it's not about extortion, it's about copyright. He's telling the Nevada courts that this case is not even connected, but yet he's acting like it's completely connected. Okay. Keep in mind that Monica Foster is an investigative blogger exposing the organized crime in the porn industry, and so is Diana Grand Mason. And he's named them both. I've never met them. They're just, they're these amazing women exposing corruption in the porn industry. And they have firsthand knowledge as insiders. So there's certainly not anybody that I'm leading. I get information from their blogs because they're the authority on it. And Elliot Bernstein has invented the iViewIt patent, the iViewIt technology. It's iViewIt.tv. Check out that story. Again, he is another source for another really big story. They're not connected to me. They're people that are my sources. I'm not sure what Marc Randazza is trying to prove by data mining these folks. He is violating their rights. So basically, he's using a unique Florida law, which he's admitted, in order to get private information from whistleblowers, investigative journalists, inventors, you know, whoever he wants to harass. And I will do some videos later showing you what he said to the Nevada case, in the Nevada case about this. But for now, I want to read to you this one. Okay, a First Amendment attorney has sued 3 web domain companies, okay, GoDaddy, in Florida State Court Wednesday for a bill of peer discovery. Okay, so there's a unique law apparently there where he can just get information on you. He doesn't even have to name you. You have no rights. The court doesn't send you any documents. He can just get away with getting your private information from anybody he wants. And he thinks he's constitutional. This is completely unconstitutional. Okay, and the reason is so he could bring extortion claims against a group of individuals allegedly behind a collection of defamatory websites. Okay, so First Amendment attorney is suing GoDaddy because Monica Foster and Diana Grand Mason and somehow Elliot Bernstein, I don't know how, and Crystal Cox are defaming him and extorting him. What we are doing, and I don't know anything about Elliot ever written on it, but I have promoted Diana and Monica's blogs that expose the porn industry. Marc Randazza is being exposed, he's being made fun of, he's being reported on, he's being made a parody against him. He's not being extorted and he's not being defamed. Okay, Marc Randazza, whose firm has offices in Las Vegas and Nevada. Las Vegas and Nevada. Okay, well that's kind of the same place. Probably meant Florida. He's licensed in Florida and Arizona, and in this case he's representing himself in this Florida case. So says that a group led by Crystal Cox, so apparently these guys are my group, my extortion group, even though I met Monica way after Marc. Marc completely offended me, violated me, tried to ruin my Ninth Circuit case, and I started writing about him and exposing him, reviewing him, making fun of him, parodying him, and Monica Foster contacted me, and I started following her blogs and reposting her wonderful information exposing the bad guys. Okay. So, a group led by Crystal L. Cox, a blogger at the center of a notable recent defamation case, has conspired to extort money from him by buying websites' names related to him and his family, filling them with false and harmful statements, and then seeking a payment for retraction in statements. Now, folks, under defamation law, this is flat-out defamation. I, Crystal Cox, never, ever posted anything online and asked Marc Randazza for money to remove it. Okay? He offered me, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks for marcrandazza.com, and I said no. He said, you really want to make an enemy of me? I mean, he's just over the top angry, and he has been lying about me in every court in the land, WIPO, the Ninth Circuit, wherever he can, saying that I posted information about him and then ask him for money to remove it. I did not ever do this. And as far as harmful statements, yeah, the truth is harmful. They are not false statements. They are statements that I have put from my opinion, for making fun of Mark, making fun of his wife. I never ever had a blog about his child. He completely lied about that. They are repostings from Diana Grandmason's site, the Fox Media Group, and from Monica Foster, and mostly Monica Foster. They are also postings from tips I've been emailed. Marc Randazza's got a lot of people who don't like him. He has squashed people. He has used people. He has bullied people. He sues people. He sets people up. He pushes people into settlements. He's, you know, a really bad guy, and I've got information on him emailed to me and from other websites and blogs, and I posted it, and I've also posted my opinion of this asshole. They're not false, and they might be harmful, but they're certainly the truth, to the best of my ability. And I never, ever sought a payment to retract my statements. Marc Randazza is a liar. He gets these places at Big Law 360, he gets that William Peacock at Reuters, you know, he gets these people in high places, Kashmir Hill at Forbes, NPR, Bob Garfield, and he gets them to write these bad things about people, and then this is used against you as evidence in a court of law, and you can't win. Okay, he's above the law, and he's a bully to the extreme. Okay. Wednesday's filing, which lists Randazza, his law practice, his wife, and his 3-year-old, which is sick, making his daughter collateral damage. Just sick. He is a sick, sick man. Okay, targets information in the possession of GoDaddy, Webcom. I don't know who these people are. I don't know. There must be something to do with the other gals' blogs. That Randazza says is relevant to his claim against the, you know, tortfeasors. Oh my God, he must be really scared of the truth. Now, Mark, remember? If you have a problem with free speech, this problem with speech is more speech, right? No, what we got to do is we got to find a Florida judge to take their personal rights away, and we're going to sue, and we're going to find information, and we're going to dig it up, and then we're going to file an extortion suit against him because we're Marc Randazza. And then after we sue him from extortion and get a corrupt judge to give us a ruling, then we're going to charge them for our legal fees and our time to do it. All right. Cox is a well-documented extortionist. Randazza says, right, I am. And they're all Marc Randazza's words. Okay, Marc Randazza has well documented me and Elliot Bernstein as extortionists. And he has defamed us. And yet I got sued $10 million for trying to report on the Summit bankruptcy. And here we are, this man completely lies over and over in really big media, in law documents, in court cases, in WIPO, flat out lies over and over, defamation with actual knowledge, and he gets a free ride. That's not he has no liability at all because he's Marc fucking Randazza. God, total fucking asshole is what he is. And well-documented extortionist? Not even true. Describing her as, by her own claim, homeless and living in church property. Okay, I'm not living in church property. I am penniless because Marc Randazza has ruined me, okay? But I'm still fighting back, and I'm still representing myself. I want the courts to appoint me an attorney, but the courts won't do that, so I'm still fighting the best I can up against Marc Randazza. I have no way to rent a home because he has, yes, because he's well documented me as an extortionist, even though it's a flat-out defamatory lie. He was my attorney. I've had phone calls with him. Emails. He knows that I'm not guilty of extortion, but he keeps telling it to the world just to teach me a lesson, trying to teach a woman a lesson for standing up to him. Randazza cites three cases, including one in Nevada involving him as a party, which found Cox to have engaged in extortion and witness intimidation. Now, this Law 360 should completely be liable, right? Is that true? Was I adjudicated for extortion in the Nevada courts? Was there evidence put on the docket that I extorted anyone, and then I was found guilty? There was Jordan Rushie's blog, and Judge Gloria Navarro said that it was law commentary, so she used that as evidence, but Jordan Rushie's, who's now at Randazza Legal Group, I mean, certainly that's not proof of anyone being guilty, is it? If so, you're all in trouble. A witness intimidation. This is coming from, he thinks that he was a witness in Obsidian Finance Group case. He was my fucking attorney. And then I was like, I'm intimidating a witness because I'm exposing my own attorney for turning on me? I mean, I don't understand how that works. And plus, the case was over and it was already on appeal. What he was working with the other side for was to try to stop my appeal, try to negotiate my appeal. And by the time he was crying witness intimidation, I already had Eugene Volokh as my attorney, and Marc was going to testify that I was an extortionist because Marc Randazza and David Amen were calling everybody in the world and trying to set me up for extortion and entrap me for extortion. And so he was saying this, and this was about, they had a $2.5 million judgment, so they were trying to find some money. Okay, so, and he was thinking he was a witness on that. I mean, he was ordered to be deposed and he never showed up. I have questions for him. My questions are on the docket. There's a record I had questions. I did not intimidate any witnesses. Another flat out lie. Okay, offered to repair the very damage she caused for a small, tasteful monthly fee. The judge said that. Okay, check out the hearing the day before the trial where I asked the judge, I said, the other side's accusing me, the plaintiff's accusing me of extortion. The judge said, no, they're not, and if they do, plead the fifth. Okay, but then in a motion to deny a new trial, the judge pretty much accused me of extortion. Why? Because he'd had private secret meetings with David Amen and Marc Randazza in order to set Crystal Cox up for the crime of extortion. But for some reason in all these years they haven't got a hold of the FBI, the cops, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, and actually give me trial on this or give me some sort of criminal investigation. Instead, they just use it and they just publicly defame me knowingly with actual malice year after year after year, and they get away with it. David Amen and Marc Randazza and Kevin Patrick are the ones that created the extortion idea, and it never even happened. And then you throw in Martin Cain and his lies and his cahoots with Marc Randazza. And then Marc Randazza just pulls this guy out from my Montana real estate complaint who completely lied about me. And he gets him an attorney, a porn attorney, on Ventura Boulevard. And they did a Ninth Circuit amicus, which Marc paid for. Marc funded the guy, and Marc pretty much wrote the document. He does everything illegal. He completely pushes the limits of the law all the time, and he seems to win every time. Or, I mean, his peers certainly don't respect him, but he just keeps going and going and going. He's a complete lawless bully. So, okay, registered a domain name and a potential client and filled it with defamatory statements. No, I registered domain names that were keyword rich about whatever it was, whether it was bankruptcycorruption.com or someone's name, and I reported on that person or that subject. And I never ever offered to sell a domain name for $500,000. In this context, this did not happen, okay? Okay, my Ninth Circuit ruling, you guys can read this. The negligent standard. Okay, another lie. Randazza says in his filing that Cox approached him in December 2011 about representing her in appeal. She did not retain him, but purchased the domain name markrandazza.com according to the filing. Never, ever did I approach Marc Randazza. One of my bloggers did. I agreed to a conversation. Marc wanted to represent me. Marc immediately started negotiating with David Amen of Tonkin Torp, the other side, on a deal to stop my appeal. He worked with David Amen to steal my appeal. You can even look on Eugene Volokh's blog on this. They were auctioning off my right to appeal at the courthouse steps. Another, trick using a state court in Oregon, like Marc's doing in Florida. And it's really common in Florida, it used to be, according to one of Marc's attorney buddies, it used to be common in Florida to steal your right to appeal in order to satisfy a judgment. Okay, so Marc Randazza taught this to David Amen. David Amen tried this, and they tried to slip it in a state court where I represented myself still on my assets, and then I got a hold of Eugene Volokh and he stopped it. So you can look at all that's going on. So they have been working together against me in this $10 million lawsuit, Obsidian versus Cox, for years. Okay, now this is a fact, folks. Just do your homework. Cox then notified Randazza of the purchase and offered to provide search engine reputation management. This is not true. Look at the records, look at the emails, and see how this exactly happened. Marc Randazza was never, ever being extorted by Crystal Cox. It never, ever happened. After he attacked me and threatened me and got very vicious with me, and I started researching him and getting tips on him, yeah, I bought Hypocrite Marc Randazza, Exposed Marc Randazza, I got Randazza Legal Group Sucks, and a lot of other names, which he's taken them all. He's taken all of my search engine work and redirected it to a hate blog post about me via Judge Gloria Navarro and an unconstitutional protective order, TRO, out of the Nevada courts, Randazza versus Cox. Randazza says that Cox enlisted the help of individuals, Elliot Bernstein of Florida, Alexander Mayers, Diana Graham. Okay, Elliot Bernstein was never, I have no idea what his beef is with Elliot Bernstein, other than the porn industry makes millions of dollars a minute from the I View It technology, with which Elliot, and he was one of the inventors, and he was the founder of the I View It technology, which the porn industry uses without paying the inventors. That story is at iviewit.tv. Alexandria Mayers is Monica Foster, and she is an investigative blogger, and she is really incredibly good at it. She's very smart. She's very knowledgeable of the porn industry. She's a one-woman show. She's exposing human trafficking and pedophiles. She broke a story about Marc Randazza being connected to a known pedophile, which was he was going to speak at for the Libertarian Party in Nevada, and connected to the Free Speech Coalition, and she broke that story. I have been reposting from her site for years, and he's threatened her. They threatened to gouge her eyes, to scar her face. They threatened to bomb her. They threatened to kill her. They completely attack. And the same thing with Diana Grandmason, who's Desi Fox. She's also a porn insider, exposing organized crime in the porn industry. She's a registered human trafficking victim. Marc Randazza knows all this. He is further victimizing her. She is a registered human traffic victim in Florida. He's violating her some more by naming her in this lawsuit. What her blogs do is expose Marc Randazza and a whole bunch of other people in the porn industry. I certainly never enlisted them. They are simply people that have amazing amounts of information, and they want to do good to society. They both believe in God. They're both Christian women, and they're both really trying to help to expose the bad guys. Okay, Desi, right, became famous. That's just him attacking her more and further making her a human trafficking victim. Okay, together the tortfeasters continue to assist and aid one another in publishing false and harmful statements about the plaintiff, and constantly shifting, configuring of straw of ownership and blah, blah, blah. None of that is true. I've never had anything to do with any of their blogs, any of their websites. I've never talked to them about publishing any information. Sometimes Monica gets information from my blogs and puts on her site, randazzanews.com, and other sites. And I get stuff from both of their sites, and I repost it. MarcRandazza.com I gave to Monica because I thought she was so incredibly good at exposing corruption in the porn industry, and I thought it would help as a platform to expose those things. She was in fear of her life. At one point, I think she gave the name to Desi to do it, and Desi didn't really want to or whatever, so she transferred the name back to Monica. Marc Randazza outed Monica's car, slammed her for being Christian, pretty much threatened her life, and she was scared, so she gave the name back to me, and then after that, Marc sued me. Okay, unlawful actions and to conceal the true ownership. No, it was never to conceal the true ownership. I'm the true owner. I'm always been the true owner, other than these little things where you tried to threaten to kill these women. There's never been any secrets. There's never been anything hidden. I've always been in my real name. I continue to allege that Marc Randazza is a criminal. He is involved in organized crime. He helps people that he come right out and supports people the pedophile guide. He is connected to pedophiles. He's connected to people involved in human trafficking. He's connected with the biggest media companies out there. You know, do your homework on Marc Randazza, and I will do a bunch of videos too, because I know that I've written a lot of the different connections and cases, but a lot of people don't like to read. So I'm going to do a lot more videos showing you guys what's really going on here. This article here is complete defamation. Okay, but these reporters only listen to Marc Randazza. They don't listen to the truth, and they certainly don't contact me. All right, folks, have a great day.